Hey folks, it's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth. Today is Thursday, September 1st, brand new month. Hope you're well today. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing the stock SNDL. There was some news that broke with regards to them acquiring Superette assets, another distressed company, and it's a stalking horse bid / agreement. We're going to go over that. We'll look at the chart and do some technical analysis. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on the stock in the days and weeks ahead. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. And if you're new, you can subscribe, click the bell, and be notified on any future videos or when I go live. You can see here the article titled SNDL Inc. enters into a bid agreement to acquire Superette assets. Not going to go through all of this, but essentially on August 30th, pursuant to the company's Creditors Arrangement Act, it has entered into an agreement to purchase the sale of Superette, the stalking horse agreement. So essentially a stalking horse bid is bidding on the assets, the distressed assets, when a company is filing for bankruptcy and creditor protection before it goes to auction. And it's just a way to maximize the amount of value for those assets. Usually whenever they go to auction, it gets auctioned off to the highest bidder and it usually doesn't get as much value out of those assets, right? Pursuant to which it is proposed to acquire substantially all of the business and assets of Superette through a hybrid asset purchase. And essentially they are an MJ retailer, and they intend to return to court on September 9th, on September 9th to seek approval of, among other things, an amended and restated initial order and the order approving a sale in the investment solicitation process, the SISP. Subject to court approval and the comeback hearing, the stalking horse agreement will serve as the stalking horse bid in the SISP and is to be supervised by the court and conducted by PricewaterhouseCoopers Inc., the court-appointed monitor of Superette. And the stalking horse bid will set the floor or minimum acceptable bid for the potential alternative bids submitted in the SISP, which is designed to achieve the highest and best offer for the Superette's business and assets, right? So basically what I just mentioned. The assets to be acquired under the stalking horse agreement include 6 Superette retail locations within Toronto and Ottawa. Superette sells MJ and non-MJ branded merchandise as well, and has developed a prominent position in the Canadian retail MJ landscape through its experiential and localized retail experience. The stalking horse bid also provides for certain intellectual property rights and white label products under the Superette brand. We are excited about the opportunity to bring stability to the Superette retail business during the CCAA proceedings, said Zach George, the CEO of SNDL. Superette team has worked tirelessly to create an immersive and differentiated experience within the MJ community, and the bid seeks to further solidify SNDL's position as a prominent multi-banner MJ retail operator. Through the CCAA proceedings, we are committed to supporting Superette through the restructuring and ensuring the continuity and preservation of the Superette experience and consumers that consumers have come to know and love. And if we just go, I did a video here on the acquisition of Valens. A lot of people were very upset with that because it was resulting in dilution, right? They're going to be doing that in an all-stock deal. So essentially your Valens shares will convert into SNDL shares. But I wanted to mention that the reason why I think that they did that is because they're saving their cash, right? And I was speculating that they were saving their cash for Zenabis's distressed assets. We know that Zenabis is going through a very similar thing where they're looking to make a stalking horse bid with regards to facilities for Zenabis. We know they have Malta, which is EU GMP certified, so that'll be their into the EU market. And we know Germany is coming online with regards to recreational sales. So that'll be a great acquisition and strategy, in my opinion, for SNDL. And because of this, and because of the Superette assets, they've only got, shows here on Yahoo Finance, $400.2 million. And we know that the assets, when Hexo acquired Zenabis, I think it was $265 million they acquired them for. So if they get the assets for, say, $100 million, obviously it's going to be a lot less, but again, it's a stalking horse bid. So generally they try to maximize that value, get the most value out of that as possible before it goes to an auction. So if you couple Superette with Zenabis assets, that probably is why SNDL decided to do a stock deal versus buy Valens in cash, right? They wanted to preserve their cash so that they could come in and swoop in and make stalking horse bids for Superette asset and Zenabis. But let me know in the comments below if you agree with me. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. And again, SNDL may not even be done on its consolidation, mergers, and acquisitions, and the consolidation in the space. Taking a look at the chart here now. So we are consolidating on the weekly time frame. So we have the low high here, the high of the bounce at 359 and the low at 212. So right now we're just looking for a higher low compared to 212 support, and what we want to see is a weekly trend change. A lot of names have already confirmed weekly uptrends, including MSOS, the ETF that tracks all the major operators in the US. But if we take a look here, what we need to do is confirm this higher low and higher high, right? So we need to come down, form a higher low, which we are right now, and in order to be confident that the bottom is in, we need to change the daily trend. That will set our weekly higher low. But like I said, at the moment, it's good that we're pulling back on the weekly time frame because we still need to change the weekly trend. Right? I know a lot of people are, what do you mean it's good that we're pulling back, right? We want to just go straight up forever. Well, unfortunately, that's not realistic, right? So in order to change the weekly trend, what do we need? We need a higher low. Higher low just means we're losing the low of the previous weekly candle. We're seeing consolidation, but it's still a higher low compared to the pullback here. So we have the low, high, we're now getting the higher low. If we break resistance at 359 from here, we confirm the weekly uptrend, and then we zoom out and we look for the monthly uptrend to confirm. We still haven't started the monthly bounce on SNDL, and it's starting on a lot of our other names, right? If you take a look at like Tilray, we started bouncing last month. So the more names that start bouncing on the monthly time frame, even MSOS, the ETF, is bouncing on the monthly time frame. So the more names, right? If an ETF is doing that and it's tracking all the majors in the US, that is good for the whole sector because that increases the odds that we'll do that as well on SNDL. So 359 is the level to break. That will start the monthly bounce, and then we have a lack of resistance all the way up to 891. This is factoring in post-split, right? So they did a 10-for-1 reverse split. But ultimately, I am expecting moves back up to their weekly EMA 26s, and a lot of our names are already doing that. You know, you got GTII, Cresco already over their weekly EMA 26. And again, the more names that do that, the more likelihood that that's going to spill over into SNDL. And if we were to target that, that'd be around 388 on SNDL. So that from current levels, we're looking at about another 42% of upside. But again, we still need to confirm the weekly uptrend, and then at that point, we're still not out of the woods yet. We need to start the monthly bounce, and then when we start the monthly bounce, we need to top out on the monthly, form a higher low, and then a higher high. We need to change monthly uptrends, the trends to an uptrend on the monthly time frame to be confident that the bottom is in and that we're entering a new bull market. But like I said, SNDL, it was struggling to close over the 10-week moving average. We're extremely bullish here on the MACD and the stochastic, but it was a little bit of a red flag that SNDL wasn't able to close over the 10-week moving average when a lot of our names were. And then here we go. We got the weekly consolidation that I was calling for, right? Because we were still in a weekly downtrend. We still hadn't changed that trend. But now the great hope for bulls is that we have this higher low forming. And if we break our resistance there, like I said, at 359, that's going to confirm the weekly uptrend. And then in terms of the moving averages here in the weekly, we have nothing nearby until 508. I could really see a move up to around $5. Like I said, I think the MJ space is going to be extremely bullish leading into the fall and the midterm elections into November and the end of the year. And I think we could string together 2 or 3 green months over the next 3 or 4 months. And I think that the whole sector is going to see massive, massive moves. Like I said, if we get any kind of safe banking, that sector-wide catalyst that we know is needed. Also, look at the 50-day moving average. It's been rejecting. We failed to close above it. We had the huge upper wick. And then the next day, we went right back down again. And here we are, we're having 2 upper wicks here, and again, proving resistance. So if we can close a daily candle over the 50-day moving average at 301, we're likely targeting that 100 there at 365. So 365, 359 is going to be a very difficult level of resistance. And then after that, the 200-day moving average there at 474. A lot of our names are starting to trend back to their 200-day moving averages. And again, the more names that do it in the space, both from a American and Canadian perspective and abroad, ETFs and retailers, things like that, the more names that are doing it in the sector, the more that's going to increase the likelihood that SNDL will as well. But I do have a price target on $5 on SNDL over the next few months, and I think that should be easily doable for them leading into the fall and the midterm elections. And again, if we get any kind of safe banking, we should see a pretty big firework display. But let me know your comments. That's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We'll continue the conversation there. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rob with Power Group. If you could like the video, I would appreciate it. And have a great night. We'll see you on the next video.